Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube and my fellow Gunboys. Welcome to a special edition of GNN, as we have special preview access to a new suit arriving on the Gundam Battle Operation 2 landscape. But before we begin, I'd like to shout out and express my thanks to Bandai Namco for allowing us to come check out this upcoming mobile suit banner. So without further ado, the RX-9/B Narrative Gundam B-Packs from Gundam NT is coming to GBO2. Just as a disclaimer, the opinions and perspectives on the Narrative Gundam B-Packs are based on an early build of the mobile suit and may differ from the time that it's released. So without further ado, let's get straight into the detail. The RX-9/B Narrative Gundam B-Packs is a 4-star, 650 cost general developed by Anaheim Electronics, originally as a prototype for the RX-93 New Gundam. While the assets provided do show our Narrative Gundam is a mobile suit of the 1-star rarity kind, Bandai Namco has elaborated that this will be changed by the time of release for Banner Night. Leading into its primary ranged weapon, the Narrative Gundam B-Packs comes in with the same bazooka used by the Type D Jigen, Echo S Jigen, and the latest Gustav Karl. With a damage base of 2300, 5 shots, and range of 300 meters, the bazooka is going to be the primary means of stunning and interrupting enemy combatants. Since the B-Packs doesn't come with any stock primary weapon in either gun platform or in its Gundam NT depiction, it makes sense that a decision was made in its choice over the Jigen beam rifle. As shown with our assets, the bazooka has a very small splash radius, therefore will give a small leeway on catching someone around the corner. Since the weapon is already being utilized and in-game, it should be assumed that the stun build-up values to break maneuver armor are also the same. The Narrative Gundam B-Packs' primary melee weapon is a specifically unique beam saber coming in at a base power of 2600 and a cooldown timer of 2.5 seconds. While its neutral and side swings suggest a Federation melee moveset, you're only partially right. The Narrative Gundam's downswing is actually a forward lunge, similar to the Re-Bawu. While there is a momentary windup, the downswing is seemingly as quick as the Re-Bawu as well. Since it shares the same animation, it also seems to share the same issue as most thrusting downswings require the target to be extra close for the hitbox to register, and also cross-connect with the saber during this animation. Despite this, the Narrative Gundam B-Packs should be pretty well off against whatever it runs into. Hopping down in the sub-weapon category, we're kicking off with the Narrative Gundam 60mm Vulcan guns. Coming in at a base power of 110, 60 in the mag, and an effective range of 250 meters, they seem to have decent output. The rate of fire for this feels to be on the same level as the Gundam Mark II and the GBO2A, as its extended range for Vulcan seemed to be allowing for aggressive plays and flanking maneuvers. Due to its high ammo capacity and rate of fire, we can also possibly assume that it'll at least take half of the total shot to build up enough stun and break maneuver armor as well. The Narrative Gundam B-Packs' next sub-weapon is a 4-tube missile launcher system that it carries on both arms, comprised of modified Jigen shields and more missiles. With a base damage of 400, 8 shots, and an effective range of 300 meters, this sub-weapon for the Narrative Gundam B-Packs seems fairly consistent as a secondary stun option for players, at the very least something that could assist in breaking enemy suits out of maneuver armor. Since they're based on the shield system that is the standard Jigen and related mobile suits of the series used at the time, travel time is fairly quick and responsive, suggesting that these can also be used in quick succession. However, it is not clear in the clips provided if both arms alternate between fire for this weapon, or if they fire at the same time. While it's not overwhelmingly important of a detail, GBO2 veteran players generally will have an idea of what weapon is being telegraphed and ready based on the attack stance of the enemy full suit. The next sub-weapon on the list for the Narrative Gundam B-Packs is the Incom-based wired assault units, just like the ones utilized and depicted in Gundam NT. Coming at a base damage of 500, heat rate of 50%, and effective range of 200 meters, these pairs of Incom pincer with the same 3-shot burst as the Delta Kai. If all hits connect with the wire assault units, the enemy mole suit flinches for a moment. While it does have a lengthy animation and short lock-on range, the visual examples seem to suggest that they should be more than enough to get a few good hits in while using its other weapons in the field to trade shots. The last sub-weapon on the list is the Wired Assault Unit in Jammer mode. With an effective range of 350 meters and overheat of 18 seconds, this creates a temporary containment zone, which happens to tie into the Narrative Gundam B-Packs' unique skill. The skill is the Special Field Control System, which reduces an enemy mobile suit's mobility and some actions as well. In addition, the jammer also forces a mobile suit to consume a set amount of thruster. While the interpretation of the description is unclear at the present moment, it could be assumed that it's a fixed amount on the gauge, or it could mean overheating, which more likely may be the former in terms of game balance. Jumping down to the Narrative Gundam B-Packs' shopping list of skills, the suit seems to have a decent amount of reliable skills that feel like a standard feature in most general mobile suits. The most notable combination of skills outside of the Narrative Gundam's unique skill that was mentioned earlier is the presence of Maneuver Armor Level 1 and Emergency Evasion Level 2. While on its own, it might suggest that the Narrative Gundam is just like a high-cost Alex. However, seeing that it has Flight Control Level 3 and Force Injector 2 suggests and reinforces the perspective that this is going to be one nimble and aggressive suit. While I might have more questions and comments lingering after, I'm quite confident that a lot of it will be cleared once I get my hands on the Narrative Gundam. One last thing to note, as we went somewhat out of order regarding its paper stats, the Narrative Gundam seems fairly strong and balanced, coming in stock with 19,500 HP, 30s in beam and melee resistance, low 30s in both damage output categories, and decent maneuverability stats. It looks to have a lot going for it. With enough part slots, it's going to be very simple to get a working configuration, picking out the best in the new suit. With that said, this concludes my preview of the new upcoming banner coming from Gundam NT. What do you guys think of the new suit? Is it worth pulling? Let me know in the comments below of your opinions and thoughts. Thanks to Bandai Namco again for the preview opportunity, and without further ado, I'll see you guys all on the next video.